Hi everyone, Monique here, Little Gems Creations 1. Today we are going to be making a cat toy and we're going to start that in just a moment. Hi everyone, Monique here, Little Gems Creations 1. Today we're making a catnip taco. You're going to need a 4.5 millimeter crochet hook. You're going to need some scrap yarn. I'm using this kind of mustard yellow, and this is the green I had. And you're also going to need a darning needle, a piece of material. So this is 6 inches by 4 inches, and of course you're going to need some catnip. And by the way, you guys, other than hiding your threads, this is a no-sew pattern. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to start by crossing our yarn. If you prefer to do a slip knot, you go right ahead and do a slip knot. We're going to chain 2. Then we're going to go back into that very first chain and we're going to wrap our tail around the hook. And we're going to do 6 single crochets into that very first chain. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We're going to slip stitch into that first stitch. We're going to chain up 1. That was our first round. If we did it correctly, when we give a tug on our tail, that hole will cinch right up. If not, don't panic. You can use the tail to sew up the little gap there. Okay, for round 2, we're putting 2 single crochets in every stitch around, okay? So again, a single crochet is into the stitch, pull through, yarn over through the 2 loops. And we're doing 2 of those in each stitch. So you'll end up with 12 stitches. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And then we're going to slip stitch into that first stitch. And we're going to chain up 1. Now I want you to keep making this for 6 rounds, and you're always going to increase 6. So I'm going to show you how to do each one, but if you're an advanced crocheter, then you can just skip ahead. So this next round we're going to end up with 18 stitches, and the way we do that is we put 2 in the very first stitch, and the third one is on its own. So when I'm doing this, I think of it as if I'm doing multiples of 3. So every time you do that first stitch, it's 2 in that first stitch, and then the third one is on its own. And we want to end up to 18. So right now we're at 6. 7 and 8 go together. 9 is on its own. Continue this until you have 18 and meet me back. So I've gotten to 18 and I'm just going to slip stitch into that next stitch, chain up 1. So now we're going to work in multiples of 4. And the way to remember this is, you see how each ridge here, this was our first, second, this is third, so now we're working on our 4th round, which also is done in multiples of 4. So 2 in that first stitch, and then 3 goes on its own, and 4 it goes on its own. So with this round, we're going to end up with 24 stitches. So 2 in that first stitch, 3 on its own, 4 on its own. So that would have us at 8 right now. 9 and 10 go together. 11 is on its own, and 12 is on its own. 13 and 14 go together. 15 is on its own, 16 on its own. Do this until you have 24 stitches. I've got my 24 stitches. I'm going to slip stitch into that next stitch and chain up 1. Now we're on our 5th round. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 ridges. So we're on our 5th ridge. So what do you think? We're going to work in multiples of 5. So always 2 in that first, and this is still all single crochet. 2, 3 on its own, 4 on its own, and 5 on its own. So we got to 5, so now you know the next stitch has 2 in it. So 6 and 7 go together. 8 is on its own. 9 is on its own. 10 is on its own. You're going to repeat this until you have 30 stitches. So I'm at my 30 stitches. I'm going to slip stitch into that first stitch, chain up 1, and we're at our 6th ridge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're going to start our 6th. So you always start with 2 in that first one. And since it's our 6th ridge, we're working in multiples of 6. 2 in the first, 3 is on its own, 4 is on its own, 5 is on its own, and then 6. Now we're at 6, so we know we're starting another set of 6, so it always starts with 2 in that first stitch, so 7 and 8 go in that first stitch. 9 is on its own, 10 is on its own, 11 is on its own, and 12. So we've got to a multiple of 6, which is 12. So now we know we have to do 2 in that next stitch. 13 and 14 together. 15 on its own, 16 on its own, 17 on its own, 18 is on its own, and 18 is a multiple of 6. You're going to do this until you get to 36, and you'll meet me back. Okay, so I've got my 36. I'm going to slip stitch into, whoa. Slip stitch into that first stitch. We're going to make our loop big, cut our yarn, pull it through our loop. Okay, so this is what we have. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to take some scrap black, and we're going to thread our needle. Whoa, I did that around a camera too. Okay, so this is going to be folded, okay? So what we want to do is from here up, we want to work a face. So I'm going to start at the, let's see, 1, 2, we'll start at the 3rd round here. And I'm going to catch. Now here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go like this, go over, and go like this. Okay. Then I'm going to reach across. I want to start about the same place. I'm going to go like this, and then So that's what I did for eyes. So now we're just going to go to the back and we're going to tie this off. Okay. Tie it off. Put in extra knots if you want. Then I'm going to trim it, but I'm not cutting it close to the knot. I gave it quite a bit of leeway. So I'll save the long piece of my dark yarn, get rid of the short piece. So that's what we got for eyes. Now you can make any kind of eyes you want. Some people will even use safety eyes. I don't want to do that because this is for cat, and I'd rather if anything gets swallowed, it's not going to be a humongous vet bill. Okay, so now I'm going to go right here. Pull my yarn through until it gets just this. Oh, I pulled it all the way through. Can you believe it? Okay, let's try that again. So I'm kind of going in the middle of this eye. And this time I'm not going to pull it through, right, guys? There we go. Okay. And then I'm going to go here. Oops. And then I'm going to go about in the middle of that eye. Okay. I'm going to go to here. And there, that's my taco's face. Okay, so again, I'm just going to knot that in the back. Now, I hate hiding threads, so I'm not going to hide these threads. I'm just going to tuck them in. Okay, so here we go. Cut that. Save your long piece of red for another face that you'll make in the future, because you guys, you're going to get hooked. These look so cute when they're done that you're going to just want to make a whole bunch for the cat. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go back to our piece of material. Remember I said it was roughly 6 inches by 4 inches. Okay. And then we're going to take some catnip. This is just catnip I can get at my dollar store. And it's almost empty, so we're going to use the last for this cat toy. But I would put about a teaspoon of catnip in the middle of your fabric, okay? And then here's what we're going to do, guys. We're going to fold it, and we're going to fold it, and then we're going to put a knot in it. And that is going to be our catnip center. You know, even that, just like that, can be a cat toy. Anyway, we're going to put that to the side now. We are going to make sure this is tight. We're going to fold so that our taco is facing us, so our face is facing us. We're going to now take the green. We are going to go to the very edge. Okay, so you see how I have this stitch and this stitch right there? I'm only taking the back of this one and the front of this one. See what I did there? Okay, then I'm going to take this. I hold it at the back with my finger, pull through, and we're going to chain up 2. And then we're going to start doing half double crochet. So that's yarn over into the same loops that we went into before, pull through, yarn over through all 3 loops. And we're going to do that one more time in those same loops. So we're doing 3 half double crochet per stitch. So let me show you again. So my knot's there, but this is the stitch. We're going to take just the back, and on the other side, sorry, there's too many. On the other side, we are going to take just that front loop, and we're going to pull through, go through the 3 loops, yarn over into that same spot, pull through, go through all 3 loops, and one more time. So each stitch you're doing, you're putting 3 half double crochets in. Okay, let's do it again. Yarn over, picking up just the back. Sorry, I got blurry there. Picking up just the back on that side and just the front on this side. Pull through, go through all 3 loops. Yarn over, do that again in the same spot. Yarn over, do it again in the same spot. I want you to do this all the way to the other end and then meet me back. And as you get to your threads, just tuck them in, okay? Okay, do that, meet me back. Oh my goodness, I told you to do it all the way to the other end, but you can't because we got to put in our catnip. So do it to about halfway. Phew! Okay. Okay, so I'm about halfway. So now what you're going to do is you're going to take your little thing, and this will also give you stuffing from the sides. And you're just going to push it towards the center. Okay. And you're going to keep crocheting now, just like we were doing. Okay, and all the way closed. So if you need to manipulate it a bit, you go right ahead. Okay, and then you just keep going. So yarn over, into the back, into only the front, pull through. Oops, going blurry. And then through all 3 loops and repeat it 3 times. 2, 3. Okay, now go all the way to the end and meet me back. So once you get to the other end, make your loop big. We're going to cut our yarn. We are going to pull our tail through. Okay, and the only things you have to hide are the 2 tails. So I'll just show you how I do that. So I thread my needle. Woo! I got it. I'm going to go through here. And I'm not going to the front. I'm just taking the back loops of these stitches. So like, see, it's not going through the front. Okay. And I always go a little bit back from where my working yarn is coming out. And then I go a little bit more. And I do that a few times. And then I just cut. There's no knots involved, nothing. Your stitches aren't distorted. And here we go. Same thing on the other side. Now I just want to take a moment to remind you guys that whenever you have a toy for your cat, it should always be played with while supervised. You don't want them to eat parts. If your toy starts to fall apart, great opportunity to make another one. Vet bills are awful, so make sure you're playing with your cat. You're letting your cat play with this in a safe, supervised situation. Okay, so that's how I do it. And that is our crochet taco, guys. Isn't it adorable? I love it. Okay, and then if you want, like, you can manipulate but believe me, the cat will love it and manipulate it anyway. So take this opportunity to hit the like, and if you want to share this in your crochet groups or with a friend, that'd be great. It always helps me build my business when more people can see it. And if you can't make this, or you think someone would love it but you don't have time to make it for them, I do sell these in my Etsy store, and there'll be a link in the description. In fact, there'll be all kinds of links in the description of all different kinds of things that I make. So be sure to check it out. And finally, I would love to know where you're watching me from. I just am always amazed how far-reaching YouTube really is. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Have a great day. Bye now.